Hi everyone, today I'm here to talk all about festive sewing. Today I'm here to inspire you with some more festive sewing ideas, and I want to talk to you all about my love of stretch velvet. Today it's 33 degrees, so really not the weather for velvet, but in saying that, nothing speaks Christmas to me more than a beautiful velvet dress, and you can make it summery. I've got a few ideas here to show you how. If you guys in the Northern Hemisphere think that the velvet really appeals to you, and there's a lot of different patterns I think will work really well, I'm going to show you a whole range of dresses that can be made up in stretch velvet. It's really easy to work with. There's just a few rules to remember, but I absolutely love it. I've done it many times. I've got many dresses in stretch velvet that really work well, and I love wearing them. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, why not think about doing that now, and then you'll notice any new episodes that get released. You'll be first on the VIP list. Let's get started on the one I'm wearing. This is one of my all-time favorite knit patterns, and it's from Friday Pattern Company. This is a Lucida dress. The first thing that appealed to me when I saw this dress on the pattern envelope was this beautiful, luscious looking red velvet that the model had on, and it really complemented the pattern. So I decided to go and get myself some stretch knit velvet, or velour. Now this is different to panne velvet, and it's also different to a double velvet. Now I've had many a nightmare working with double velvet. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I was making my daughter's boyfriend a blazer in double velvet, and it was absolutely a nightmare from start to finish. The actual pattern was fine. I had it fully lined. What happened a lot of the time where the needle pierces through the fabric, it actually ends up splitting the fibre. So even though I'd done a wonderful job sewing it up, when he started to wear it, it actually started splitting. And I think that was mainly because the fabric was more for an upholstery kind of like maybe a cushion cover or a curtain. So it didn't take that wear and tear and movement into it. Didn't have a lot of movement. It's one thing with upholstery fabrics and quilting cotton is that the way the warp and weft of the thread, the way it's woven, doesn't take into accountability the movement that you would normally get in apparel or a fabric that's meant to be for clothing. So it really, sometimes you can be lucky with a pattern, and other times, like me, because you've got a lot of movement through the shoulders, it just didn't work. So I would next time use a velveteen for that, or a cotton-based velvet that's specifically made for making blazers and dresses and things like that. It was a real shame because I had to end up turfing it, and it was a really plush, beautiful velvet, but just didn't work. So today I won't be talking about that kind of velvet. This will be predominantly stretch velvet, knit velvet. So it's pretty widely available, and I know here in Australia places like Spotlight will sell it, and it's really quite inexpensive as well. And I have got a few patterns as well for panne velvet, which is a lot lighter, a lot more stretch. The knit is a lot more like a 50% stretch, whereas this would be more like a 20 to 30% stretch. So yeah, it just depends on your pattern, but I'm looking at knit dresses that I know will work well, have worked for me in the past. So the Lucida, as I say, was a really easy make, and it's a gorgeous dress to be made up in any kind of knit fabric. You can lengthen the sleeve if you're in a colder climate. This dress would work wonderfully. And the actual drawstring in the front of this dress, I'll give you a little bit of a look. It actually has got a casing that can be pulled, and when you sew it, you just sew the drawstring through, and you can basically have it as low or as high as you like, but it gives a beautiful shape, and the actual dress itself just falls underneath the bust line. Absolutely stunning. I really love this dress. I made it a little bit longer, of course, than the pattern envelope. That did state just that it was like almost to the knee length. I wanted it a bit longer, but that was really easy to do as well. I think my mum's making she's got a knit linen fabric. I think it'll work really well in that too. But yeah, absolutely love this dress, and I think it would make a gorgeous top, like a tunic top or a peplum style top over a pair of jeans. And really look at maybe the sleeves if you're wanting to make it like a statement sleeve or a longer sleeve, or even a bell sleeve would be beautiful in the stretch velvet too. So this is the Friday Pattern Company Lucida dress. As you can see, there's a lot of shaping around the bust. It all comes from this drawstring effect. Really easy to make, very beginner friendly. The shaping in it is great, so it doesn't need a lot of work there, so you can really get away with it more when you've got the shaping and it's all a knit fabric dress. And love it in this velour, stretch velour fabric. So I'll show you further back. You can see the way it drapes underneath the bust. Really lovely style, and it's definitely a winner. I think it'll be beautiful for Christmas season. And also very easy to make it a bit more wintry, the cooler weather as well. The next dress I absolutely love was a Vogue dress. I'll pop the number up because always numbers don't stick in my mind. I'm a names person. So when I think it was McCall started releasing patterns with names, I just thought awesome because yeah, I will remember a name over a number any day. So yeah, this dress I have worn it on here. I had a lot of comments last time I wore it because of the gorgeous color. One thing to remember with velvet or velour is we've talked about before a nap and how important it is to cut everything in the same direction. So for example, this dress, if you're doing the bodice to separate to the skirt, you want to make sure that your grain line is running all the same way, because otherwise the fabric will look a totally different color, the way the light reflects on it, and you'll end up with two different looking reds. And that goes the same with the back and the front and the side seam. You don't want the colors to look different. Same with a corduroy. It's happened to me in the past. I've made mistakes with corduroy pants, trying to save fabric. It looks like two different colored pants, and it's really upsetting. You put all that work into it, and it's such you can't disguise it. It really is a definite color change there. So try and remember to cut on the same direction with your nap, with velvets, velours and corduroys. And another thing to remember too, this is a really interesting point that I actually saw a while ago, that with velour or velvet, you don't have to have the plush running the smooth feeling down. As long as it's cut the same way, you can actually have it running the opposite way, and it gives it a different sheen, like a more of a lustrous kind of sparkly sheen to it, a really different kind of texture. So if you see the way the light hits the grain running smoothly, if you turn it upside down, it gives it more of a suede kind of look, if you know what I mean. It's pretty hard to see the light here, but that's the opposite way, and you feel it's rougher. So the nap is running the opposite way, but as long as it's all running the same direction, you can cut your pattern pieces all against that nap. But yeah, always remember to do it the same way. But I love this dress. This is a beautiful wraparound Vogue dress that I've made a couple now. I've made long sleeves and short. It's so comfortable. It really is very classy and very dressy, but you can make it more casual depending on the fabric you use. But gee, the velour or the stretch velvet gives it just such a beautiful, elegant look. And it's definitely one of my favourite dresses. And I've done it, you'll just see, I don't have a cover stitch machine. Yeah, I'd love to have one day. If I stop buying fabric, maybe I could save up money to buy a cover stitch machine. But I've actually done this with just a zigzag finish, and you can do it with a twin needle finish as well. Yeah, but you don't really need to overlock if you don't have an overlocker, because sometimes you can get that wavy effect. So you can actually do it with a zigzag or a twin stitch too. So that's a really lovely Christmassy dress. And I did a series last year on some Christmas dresses as well. If you might like to go back and rewatch all my old episodes to get some more inspiration there, I'm sure you will enjoy those episodes. I made this in long sleeve, short. I made it in a viscose rayon, stretchy fabric, very lightweight, or more of a medium weight velvet. Beautiful in a ponte as well. So I'll show you the shaping lines. Wrap dresses are always very nice to wear, give you a beautiful shape, but such an easy dress to whip up as well. And I think it would be beautiful in a top style length for Christmas, maybe with a pair of jeans if you wanted to stay home and not dressing up. Yeah, very lovely dress. I'm just loving the red, very Christmassy feel too. Next dress I made for the Sew Frosting hashtag. If you haven't seen that before, it's a hashtag started by Kelly from True Bias, and it's all about sewing the glamorous, the gorgeous, the really intricate fabrics, the things that you wouldn't wear every day, but the things that really make it worthwhile to sew and put your own personality into your garments. So yeah, check out the Sew Frosting hashtag. This was actually a dress for my Twice as Nice series last Christmas, and it's actually a Pattern Emporium pattern. It's the Spellbound dress. It's a really lovely maxi length kind of an A-line dress. It has really lovely shaping to it as well. There's many different necklines you can do. You can do a flutter sleeve, a long sleeve, a short sleeve. You can actually mash back the Spellbound with other sleeves. So if you like, for example, the Hello Gorgeous sleeve, which is a really popular little pattern from Pattern Emporium, it's a big dramatic puff sleeve, you can actually pop that onto the Spellbound dress, and you can actually then maybe put the scooped or the squared neckline on the Spellbound dress. So it really is great to be able to mix and match all the patterns and have a really almost be your own designer, have your own patterns in your wardrobe and be able to create your own dress in the end. This is the Pattern Emporium Spellbound dress. Now what a beautiful little flutter sleeve it is. Lovely A-line shaping. Gone for the maxi length here. It'd be beautiful in a winter long sleeve version for the velvet. I think it would definitely work really well. But it's one of my favourite dresses as far as being a beautiful drapey long maxi length dress. And I love this one. I think it'd be great with a long sleeve, maybe a puff sleeve as well, and you can go that route with the other patterns. If you have other patterns through Pattern Emporium, you can mash them back with this, and you can mash up different necklines as well. So very pretty dress. This was actually a stretch velvet from Spotlight last year. And yeah, the Spellbound is one of those dresses that, yeah, you can really dress it up or down depending on your fabric. You can make it a really casual beachy dress. I made one in a plain cotton interlock as well. And you can really do it in like things like a viscose stretch as well. It just really depends. You can really have a play around with the fabrics. But I just think in a stretch velvet, that is just a stunning dress to wear. It feels amazing. It's comfortable. Pop a little heel or a red shoe on with that and away you go. But yeah, don't worry as well about overlocking. You don't need to use an overlocker. You can do it with a zigzag stitch as well. But a really pretty dress. Yeah, I've got links for all these patterns below if you're interested. Pattern Emporium have some amazing dresses on their website. There's also a new dress they released just recently which would be beautiful in a stretch velvet. And I can imagine a black stretch velvet, how stunning it would look. And that's the Entice Me Dress. The Entice Me Dress is a really figure-hugging dress. But you can add things like your cowl necks and your cowl back, different sleeves, different necklines as well. Yeah, basically try and use a fabric that's got a little bit of body in it. I wouldn't advise making anything in a panne velvet that's more figure hugging because there's not enough structure there to hold the shape. And last year I actually made a gorgeous dress from Pattern Emporium called the Going Places dress. I'll give you a little look. This is the really stunning Going Places dress in a stretch velvet, of course, a beautiful green. I think this in a black ponte would be such a great staple to have in your wardrobe. I'll just show you the beautiful hem on the bottom. Lovely little fluted hem, and it would look stunning with a heel as well. So very easy dress, simple dress to make as well. You can quite easily add on a long sleeve to this. There are tutorials how to do it. You can also add different patterns from Pattern Emporium, different maybe puff sleeve, a longer sleeve or a bell sleeve. Very easy to mix and match too. How gorgeous is this color green? This is the Going Places dress. It has a beautiful little tier on the bottom, little fluted hem, which is gives you almost the Jessica Rabbit style, really elegant dress to wear. And this is actually from Spotlight as well. It's the stretch, beautiful like a jade teal green, picks up the light beautifully as well. And a nice thick strap for wearing a bra with. If you're like me and you like to wear a bra, this is a great pattern for that. Has a lot of shaping in the dress. The back seam as well will give you a beautiful silhouette. But yeah, basically that one is such a great one as well to mix and match. If you don't want sleeveless, you can add a sleeve onto that. There are options for doing that as well. And it has a bit of a lower back as well with the thicker straps there. So it's a really good classic style. I think a lot of people love this because it's going back to just a classic everyday style shaped dress that you can really pop a jacket over or something like that. But I think it works really well in things like ponte fabric as well. So anything with a little bit more body. The first one I made in a prototype of this was actually in a panne velvet and it didn't work. It was too drapey. The fabric had way too much drape. So you don't want a lot of drape in that kind of knit. So this stretch velvet has just got just the right amount of stretch don't overdo it with the stretch. So things like a stretch rayon won't work in this dress. You really need to have a little tad more body. Yeah, try and think of a little bit more heavier weight knit to get that shaping just right. But love the Going Places dress. I've seen it in so many different beautiful designs, and as I say, different sleeves as well, so definitely worth having a look at that. Yep, so the next one I have got here is another velvet top that I made. Now this one is actually as I say, it's a top from Zadie. It's called a Frankie top or dress. It can be made in a dress as well, and it's kind of like an A-line shift dress. Now this one was actually done with the fabric run in the opposite grain. You'll see the nap, it's all the same way, and it has a little bit more of a kind of a lustrous sheen to it. I think it works really well, but you just got to remember to make it all run the same way. That one is a beautiful little top, and I've worn that quite a bit through winter with jeans. And I know a lot of people aren't going out this Christmas. You might want to just be home and maybe meeting families online. So tops are a really good alternative, and a lot of the different dresses you can make in top length as well. And the velour or velvet really dresses that up. So if you're wanting something to wear like a casual pair of jeans and a velvety top, I just think makes it a bit more special, a bit more Christmassy. So the Frankie top and dress is a really lovely style. It's got a really nice sort of a boat neck shape, but it just falls kind of from the bust, that beautiful drapiness. So it's not too much like a sweater. It's more of a shaped kind of A-line dress, but I think you could really play around with things like your sleeves on that as well. And it can be made more of a t-shirt fabric and more of a heavier weight knit, so quite a lot of options there with fabrics. I'm sure you'll remember a few weeks ago I did the designer stitch Stacey dress in this gorgeous pomegranate fabric from Spotlight. That too would be an amazing dress to be made in a stretch velvet. I think it would lend itself really nicely to the pattern with that bit of shaping and that tie in the middle. But I just love anything that looks really festive-y, and it's probably a bit too hot to wear that one at the moment for me, but I'll definitely wear that through the cooler seasons. I just think the style itself is such a winner and would definitely work really well with stretch velvet. Now another dress you can get really creative with fabrics. It's a similar weight. This one's made in a scuba knit, and this is the AK Patterns Susie dress. It has a faux wrap front with a beautiful kind of a wraparound asymmetrical hem. It's a really interesting design, and I did a pattern test for Athena maybe over a year, probably 18 months ago now on this dress, and I think that is a stunning style on. That one's in like a watercolor scuba, but I can see that one definitely in some kind of stretch heavyweight velvet. I think it would work really well. Needs a little bit of body, of course, because it's quite a fitted dress, but I've also seen that made up in t-shirt fabrics, and it works really well in a short sleeve as well. This one is the AK Pattern Susie. Of course, this would be stunning in velvet. It's equally as stunning in a scuba print and very, very comfortable to wear. So more of a figure hugging dress, the belt around the middle and a lovely little faux wrap the front, but not having to worry about anything sort of flashing open because it's all stitched down nice and neat. It has pockets as well, so that's a really good feature. And nice flat pockets too, so they don't bulk out too much. But yeah, really interesting dress. Something a little bit different as well. And that one I haven't shown anyone yet. I think that's one of the ones I've had in my wardrobe for a while and never actually shown everybody, but she has some great patterns on her website. I used a twin stitch to do that kind of hem at the front there as well, and it's come up really nice. It's a beautiful pattern, and it's got a lovely shape with the elastic waist and the tie as well for that. The next dress is the Ali and Mac I Love the 90s dress. Last year everyone went crazy for it. It's such a simple dress, but it's a really hard pattern to find. You don't find many patterns around with that, just that hitting straight underneath sort of the waistline, not under the bust. I think it can make it look a bit maternity if it's too high, but the way it sits, actually, it's a beautiful drapey style dress. It's very 90s pattern. That one would work beautiful in more of a drapey stretch velvet, so I think it would work lovely in a velour or in a panne velvet as well, and I've made my daughter a very similar one to this in a green panne velvet. Because of the drape and the way the gathers are done, it doesn't create too much bulk. So if you go for a heavier weight velvet for that, it probably would create too much bulk around the middle. But that's a really lovely style as well. There's also the Ali and Mac bell sleeve dress, which is really unique as well. Beautiful V-neck with the lovely dramatic sleeve. That would work quite well in a stretch velvet too. They've also released a new pattern called the puff sleeve Peplum, which is also a dress, peplum top and a bodysuit. Now what a beautiful looking top that would be in a velvet as well. Has like a lovely crossover front, very puffed dramatic sleeve, and very easy to dress up or down or wear with a pair of jeans too. Getting back to Friday Pattern Company, there's also the Westcliff dress. Now that is a stunning dress. I've made 2 of those. That one would actually work beautifully in something like a velvet or a really intricate pattern, like maybe a ponte or a scuba as well. You can do the 2 different lengths. There's a maxi length version and just a normal midi length version. You can do short or long sleeves too with that. A great little dress I made for winter was the Iceberg Dress from Alice & Co Patterns. Now, if you purchase the Alice & Co pattern Iceberg Dress, you will also see there's options that are free that come with that for different necklines and different sleeves. So if you want a dramatic puff sleeve or maybe a square neck, they will give you directions on there how to download that and to use as an add-on pack. And that dress for me was such a lovely dress to wear. It had a little bit of ease through the middle, so not what you would call a bodycon dress, a little bit more room to play with there, but also enough shaping that it's not too baggy. I really love the way that pattern came up, and I would really highly recommend that. It's a great little dress and a really good basic to have in your wardrobe too. Kind of reminds me of the tube style dresses we wore back in the 80s, but just a little bit more considerate with the ease around the middle, and the shaping's perfect for me too. There's also the Wrapped in Love dress by Ali and Mac. That's another really lovely pattern, really easy kind of knit pattern to wear that I've seen that done in so many beautiful style fabrics, and I think that would work beautifully in some kind of velour or velvet or just a dressy style festive fabric. The last dress I'm going to show you some pics of that I haven't ever shown you before was the Tilly and the Buttons Zadie dress. So everyone usually talks about the Zadie jumpsuit from Paper Theory Patterns, but the Zadie dress has been around for quite a while now. It's got great shaping and a beautiful style with the sort of pockets on the front and the gathered skirt, but not too much gathering. It's got a lovely bit of shaping as well, and I made that in a nice paisley fabric, and that's probably going back about 4 years now, but it's been a great little staple dress to have in the wardrobe, and I haven't seen too many of those around lately. I think yeah, some of her really older patterns are very, very special and worthwhile collecting and keeping as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed that today. Maybe it's made you take that little leap into something a bit different, tackling velvet. It's not as hard as what everyone thinks. I think especially knit, yeah, stretch velvet, a lot easier than using things like your velveteen and your double velvets for sure. And remember, you don't have to line these as well. These are all knit and stretch patterns, so it just makes you maybe feel a bit more special, a bit more glamorous, but also a bit different to things that you'd make maybe the rest of the year. So Christmas is a time we can get a bit more adventurous and do that. I definitely think so. If you have any favourite dresses or tops that you've made in velvet, please comment below. I'd love to hear what your recommendations are for that. And that, yeah, basically don't be scared. It's only fabric and you still have time. A lot of these dresses are really easy and quick, simple ones to make to get in there before Christmas time comes. Thanks for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed that. We'll see you very soon for another episode. Bye for now. Cockies. Hi everyone. Hi everybody. So glad to see you. Hi everybody. Today I'm here to talk to you all about cockies. Cockies. About cockies. They're taking